Hello and welcome to tonight's live on Learning Maths with Games, inviting you to the Global Maths and Science lesson. This coming Thursday, you have 5 days left to register. It's a 30-minute lesson which can be done in school, at home, in any organisation, and the idea is that thousands and thousands of children around the world will do the same lesson on the same day and enjoy the process, because that's what our objective is. It's also a fundraiser, so you can read about that, and please register now. So today's game, I don't have the ideal environment because I'm not at home, so I'm a bit dark. Hopefully you'll be able to see this, which is the thing that matters. So today's game is, you might have seen this before, this is a really great game to engage learners who aren't terribly interested in maths, just to get to know them. It's a good starter game. It's a great starter for any lesson. And the idea is, and I do this on Zoom, and I label it's A to 5, A, B, C, D, E, A to E on one for the columns, and 1 to 5 for the rows. And then you can just say, and also it's good for getting grid references for that as well. So it's a very useful multi-purpose game. So I'm going to start the game. The idea is we need to make squares. So we start with a square grid, but we need to make squares. And so I'm going to start, well, I'm actually going to start there. So I'm red and my opponent is blue. So blue's going to go there, and then red. So you've got to stop your opponent from making a square. So I'm going to go I'm going to go here, and my opponent is going to go here. And I'm going to say, well, haha, I'm about ready to make a square there. So my opponent says, oh, no, you don't. And I say, okay. Well, you're kind of making your way to making a square there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There. Ooh, and that gets me closer to making a square on that end. Okay. And my opponent says, well, actually, I'm going to go over here and do this. And I'm like, okay. Can't imagine what's going on there. I'm like, well, if I put one, there are ways, if you can manage to get it so that you've got 2 potential squares in one. So I'm going to go there because I reckon there's lots going on here. And my opponent says, I've won. And I'm like, I don't see any squares there. And my opponent says, absolutely. It goes from here to here to here to here. I'm like, that's not a square. So many different ways of looking at that. That's not a square. But actually, if you rotate it, you can see it is a square. And you can prove that it's a square because I know I've freehand written this, but the distance between every single dot is the same. And they're all at 90 degrees to each other. They're perpendicular and parallel lines. So that means if we go across 1, 2, 3 dots and down 1, that is exactly the same as going 1, 2, 3 dots there and across 1, 1, 2, 3 dots there and up 1, 1, 2, 3 dots there and across 1. So that proves that it's a square because every single edge length is the same. And because these are perpendicular, these are parallel lines and perpendicular to each other, that means that every angle here is 90 degrees, which means that these angles are all 90 degrees as well. And that's a really nice game. It's a much more challenging game than playing noughts and crosses. Once you get noughts and crosses, once you know how to do it, you'll never lose and you'll never win. So this is actually a much more interesting game, and you can take it so many levels because you can say, well, now find all the squares. So you can play the game as a competition, but you can also as a group, as a class, as a family, you can see if you can find all the squares in that grid. You can start with a grid of 4, and then go to a grid of 9, and then go to a grid of 16, and then a grid of 25. So you're looking at square numbers as well. There's so much. This is such a hugely rich activity, and it's lots of fun to play just to find the squares. So that's today's game, and I'll see you tomorrow for the game that we can play tomorrow night. Let us know if you have any ideas yourselves. If you've got a favorite maths game, and please sign up. The link is in the description, which don't know which social media you're on, so I don't know which way you're looking. Go and read a bit more about the Global Maths and Science lessons, sign up, and join us on Thursday. We've got over 5,000 learners now in several countries around the world. I don't have an up-to-date list at this point, but we've got a lot of people registered already. And we're hoping to have a lot more registered for Thursday. What happens is afterwards, you submit a photograph and you submit your actual numbers of actually how many people participated. And we send you a PDF by email with a certificate of participation. Two types. One is for the participants, so it's a certificate of participation. Now that goes for all the learners and all the adults, whether they be teachers or supporting people to help make a success of the day, and then of the 30 minutes. And the other one is a certificate of organization. So you can put your family's name on there, you can put your school name, your whatever organization is organizing it, and hang it proudly on the wall. So see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for registering for the Global Maths and Science lesson 2021. See you tomorrow.